Hey guys, it's Friday, like June 2nd or something like that. Still Memorial Day week, still raining outside, so I'm going to knock off a couple of videos, hopefully this weekend, and get some more information out there for you. This is my daughter's dog, Ruger. He's a Belgian Malinois. I have him, a Pit Bull, and a Doberman. And you would think it's the most dangerous house in the U.S. It's actually the most loving house in the U.S. These are just big babies. So anyway, he's going to do the video with me today. This is on canners. Promised to do that. I can't do it in my office anymore. I got a butt chewing from my wife for the last two videos I did like that. So I cannot do any more videos in my office until I clean it up. So anyway, but you'll notice in the dining room here, we have two paint stripes. That's my wife's new trick. When I tell her I don't have time to do any painting, then she comes in and does samples. So I have to paint anyway. I don't know what I think of those two colors. If you want to, you can leave a comment or email me. So anyway, canners. Okay, so I talked about canning jars and canning in general a couple of days ago. So now the canners. I did say that I have a preference on canners, and I do. So don't let the fact that you can't afford one of these canners, which they're not that expensive. Well, this one isn't. That one is. They're not that expensive. Couple $100 will get you into an American, all-American canner. There are the Presto type or the rubber gasket type. They're okay. They're a thinner metal. They have a rubber gasket around their lid that goes bad eventually. You have to buy a new one. But if that's what you can afford, go ahead and get it and start canning. Save up for an American. The main reason I like these are because they're so much thicker. As you can see, they are much thicker. They are machined lid, so there is no rubber seal. Machine lid and a machine surface on the pot itself. They're just awesome. This one, my neighbor gave this one to me probably 30-some years ago and got me started canning. And I don't know how old it is. It holds 7 quarts, and it's just awesome. It's listed, I think it's a 32 quart, which means liquid weight, so don't pay any attention to that. I don't know the model number on this one. This is my big boy. I've got 2 of these. These are 941 All-Americans. I used this one to start a mushroom farm a while back. So I had 2 of them to use as autoclaves, and they did an awesome job. And I still have them. This one I use on stovetop. This one I can't. This one's too big. I use this one outside on a camp stove that I have, and it works really well. Propane powered, it works really well. Now there is a difference in these canners. This one has a pressure relief. I'm here rubbing my daughter's Belgian Malinois so he'll stay calm on me. He's here at my feet. Anyway, this one has a pressure release valve on it. That's sort of the old school style. Nothing wrong with that. Gauge. You know, this is one when you have you're venting it, so you put your lid on, you get stuff boiling, you have your jars in there, you put the lid on it, you have this open, it starts venting, you vent it, let steam go out of it for probably 10 minutes or so, get the air evacuated out of it, then you flip that down, and the pressure's on, so you have to watch your gauge. And then when the gauge gets up to a certain temperature, or to a certain poundage, then you have to make sure to turn your stove back to make sure that it stays within the right range. It's a little fiddly, not that bad. I mean, all cannon's just a little on the fiddly side, and I'll explain that in a minute. But this one, you got to keep an eye out, because if you don't, you'll peg this gauge, and I have many a time. But that's a testament to the strength of these canners. They do have a safety release valve on the back here. If it gets way too high, it would blow. I haven't blown one yet. I would hate to see one blow. So anyway, they're exceptionally safe, and they're so thick. I mean, these are lifetime. This one, my kids' will be canning with this one. Like I said, 7 quarts at a time. I love this canner. Make sure to have when they're old like this, make sure to have your dial checked by your extension agency, every couple of years to make sure that it's accurate. Other than that, no maintenance. This one, there is a difference. This one is a new style. It's got what they call a shaker weight on it. So, as you notice, this one has the valve. This one has, like, the place the shaker weight goes on. So, this is nothing more than a weight, a metal weight. It's got poundage marked on it, 5, 10, and 15. And what happens is you decide what poundage you want. So, for example, for us, I put it on 15 because 10 is too low. You put it on 15 and you put it on here. Well, first thing, as you did on this one, you put your jars in the boiling water. You get them aligned. You put your lid on. You buckle it down here with and this, these things look like Frankenstein, but they hold that lid on. You tighten your lid on, and then you sit and you wait till this thing starts blowing steam for about 10 minutes or so. And then you take your weight, you find the appropriate number, and you put it on here like so. And it's really neat because what happens with this one is it sits, that weight is specifically designed to sit there till the temperature gets to a certain point, or the pressure, I'm sorry. And then it lifts that weight up a little bit and it starts to wobble around and release steam, so it keeps it at the same pressure. What it'll do is it makes this, it'll go and a lot of times it'll spin around, and there's the correct way to use this. So when you have too much pressure on it, it forces the weight all the way up and it goes, it's blowing steam everywhere. That's too high. So on this, when you get it to the right pressure and that weight starts to jiggle and go, that's where you want it. That's when you turn your heat down and just keep an eye on it and make sure you keep that weight where it's just sort of a constant. If it starts, it's way too much steam. I practiced a long time to learn those sound effects for this video, so I hope you appreciate that. Anyway, so like I said, All American canners, they're awesome. A couple of things too. This one looks like it's been through hell and back, and it hasn't. It's just aged, and that's the way it does. You can clean them up with steel wool. Occasionally I do. This one probably needs it. You also, on the inside of them, they have racks that hold the jars up off the bottom, and that's really important to do, because if you don't, those jars will form air under them and they'll pop around and they'll crack. So you got to make sure that you put your racks in there. If you bust parts on these, like I have broke these knobs off a couple of times on them. I got this on here wrong. I've gone ahead and ordered from All American, and they have replacement parts, easy peasy. Like I said, you'll never go wrong with these. This one's unique in the fact, I don't know if you can tell it right here, but this is a double stack. And with the double stack, what happens is you put one set of quart jars down on a rack. You put, I think it's 8, I can't remember, maybe it's 9, 8 or 9. And then you put another rack on top of these. Then you put a second row on, so it's 2 rows. That's where you get all your capacity with these. Like I said, this is the biggest one. The thing to know too with these is that they're just super strong and they're heavy. So I can't can on a glass top. Well, yes you can. Yes you can. That's a myth. I can with this one on a glass top range all the time. It's not too heavy. It won't collapse it. You don't want to accidentally drop it. I mean, that would be the end of the stove. But you've got to be, that's the dog over there drinking. You know he'd do that during the video. So anyway, so don't drop it on the stovetop. But other than that, you're fine canning on an electric glass stovetop. This one you can't. You have to put this one on something outside. I doubt this would fit under any home range hoods. It just has to be on a big burner itself. It's a monster. But I'm going to tell you, when you're canning, when you're canning 18 jars, I think it's 18 this thing holds. When you're canning 18 jars at a time, you're doing some canning. So this one, I typically look to get 40 pounds of chicken or whatever meat, or 40. I look to get a bunch of meat to can in this one. So when I'm running it, because it just takes a lot. So anyway, with that being said, like I said, All American canners, they're awesome canners. You can't go wrong. Hey guys, be quiet. So you can't go wrong with them. Like I said, if you get an old one, make sure to check it out on eBay. Check them out on eBay. If you get an old one on eBay, then go to your extension office, get your dials checked. Let me think. If there's anything else have I missed, I don't think there has. These dogs are getting rambunctious. It's about time to eat, so I guess I better go in here and feed them before I have some kind of a dadgum brawl over here. So I think that's it. Like I said, that's the basics. I'm a basic guy. If you want to see details, there's plenty of details out there on American Canners, and I advise you to go look. As always, my Gmail is mojoredneckreview@gmail.com, and my channel is Mojo Redneck Review. I don't have a lot of fancy searches or anything else out there for my YouTube channel, so the best you can do for me is subscribe, like, and pass it on. I'll be doing several more videos this weekend, and I hope you like it. So as always, I will be signing out with a GoPro stop recording.